Welcome to the 10th episode of the Create Stuff Podcast. I'm your host, Shaun Saxum. I'm going to keep this one brief because I want to let you guys get right into it. And honestly, I'm kind of tired right now. Look, my sound quality changes in this one a lot because I recorded... Okay, so first I recorded my broken microphone, which is now, well, broken. I already said that. Then I recorded with like my new microphone, which I'm using right now. Very, very nice. And then I recorded in my university's recording booth, like for podcasting and recording stuff, which is super nice. Soundproofed room, like treated and everything. So nice. So you will notice a great change in audio quality as it goes throughout. I'm sorry about that. It's gonna go from good to bad. So the order should be DropsteR, Melody, Kazoo, WolfyTheWitch. Timestamps are in the description. Feel free to skip to any interview you'd like. However, I would recommend you listen to all of them if you can. Also, links to everybody's content is in the description. Seriously, go check these people out. And if you haven't seen any of these guys before, I would recommend you stop right now and go watch like one or two of their videos and then come back and listen to this. Because seriously, all of their stuff is so good. Like, these are four of my favorite animators like ever, especially when it comes to the Dream SMP. And I'm so happy I got to talk to them, seriously. But I won't hold you here for any longer. Enjoy the podcast. See you guys at the end, where I'll actually announce like all the little things you should go check out, like twitch.tv/ShaunSaxum, and also subscribing and liking this video and like commenting on it and blah 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 blah. Bye bye. Also, the music used in the beginning of this is Hot Tea in the Morning by Cosmo Remixes. Link is in the description. It's a really good song. Cosmo gave me permission to use it. Enjoy the video. Also, since I decided to put these in a different order than what I was originally planning, you might hear me say something like, this is the 9th episode of the Create Stuff Podcast, or this is the 10th episode, or the 11th episode. Like, it's the 10th episode, I'll tell you that right now. That's what it actually is, but I did not know at the time of recording which episode it was necessarily going to be. I also might have said, this is the last part, or this is the first part, even though that's not the case, because the last part that I actually recorded is the first part now, and the first part I recorded is now the last part, so just ignore me saying those things. Thank you, enjoy. Hello and welcome back to the 11th episode of the Create Stuff Podcast. It's been a bit since I recorded the other parts of this, so, you know, some time has passed. I don't think anything's really happened in that time that would make it that different, but just so you know, I'm also in a completely different setup, as you've probably noticed by the noticeable increase in quality. But, yeah, I'm at my school's podcast recording thing in the library, so this is like really nice, and I'm also using this because my actual microphone just broke. However, also yesterday a new one came in, but I'm still using this because it's a lot nicer, and also I think my roommate would shoot me in the head if I recorded a podcast at 9 a.m. in the morning. But yeah, today I am joined by DropsteR. Hello, DropsteR. Welcome to the podcast.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so would you quickly just... Oh, how do I usually start these? It's so long. Yeah, so DropsteR, you're unsurprisingly, as this whole episode is themed around it, you are a animator on YouTube who makes stuff mostly focused around the Dream SMP. But you also make original music, if I understand.
Yes, I try to at least.
Yeah, it's very, very cool. I love it. Could you tell us a bit about some of the things you worked on, some of your animations and tracks?
Yeah, sure. So, like you said, I do make a lot of Dream SMP animatics, and I honestly think I'm most known for the Ranboo ones, because I made quite a few Ranboo animatics, if you saw my channel.
I did indeed, yeah. I saw like your entire Dream SMP, like Ranboo animatic pentology, you called it?
Yes.
That was
That's
quite a journey.
Yeah,
Good God.
legit. I made like so many. I didn't even realize. There's actually like 6 of them, but one of them got copyrighted, so we didn't talk about that one.
Oh, that is a shame. The Secret 6 episode. Oh,
Nah,
gosh.
I mean it's out on YouTube, but it's just copyrighted, you know. It's just
Oh,
YouTube stuff.
okay. That's annoying.
Mm-hmm.
YouTube sucks.
Yeah, YouTube does suck. And I guess I don't know. It's like I guess when I started making Dream SMP animatics, like I don't know. It was like I got into the fandom actually like really late. Like I legit got into the fandom around the time Ranboo joined,
Mhm.
which is why like I made so many Ranboo animatics. Cause also like no one really made any at that time. It was kind of crazy. And like
Uh-huh.
uh yeah, I've always been into like the really like horror-esque like jump scare stuff, you know.
Yeah, I could
So
definitely tell it in like your style and the stuff you chose to animate.
Like, I just really like it when, like, animations are, like, kinda creepy and then something just kinda pops out of nowhere, like, really, like, limited colors, but there's, like, spot colors here and there, so it looks kinda cool. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. No, I completely get what you're saying. I've definitely noticed that in your style. I like it a lot. I actually really like how you use color. Could you talk about that just a little bit more?
Well, usually what I do is I have, like, before I start working on something, I kinda just, like, come up with, like, a random palette that I feel like matches the vibe I wanna go with. So,
Mm-hmm.
like, for the Ranboo ones, I have this very consistent, like, kind of, like, really, like, not that saturated blue as the background, and then I kinda just, like, use really bright, like, red and green when it comes to, like, just symbolic stuff, like, dreams, strings, whatever, like, Puppet Master, yeah, Ranboo's
Mm-hmm.
eyes, just really important stuff, like, I highlight it with really bright colors,
Yeah, okay. I can actually
and
see that a bit in your animations. I like that a lot. It's super cool.
mhm. Thank you, thank you.
Yeah.
Uh,
So one of like the more unique the traits of your animations that I've noticed that I really wanted to bring up, it's like your transitions are really like different. Like you use a lot of I don't know
yes,
what the
yes.
correct term for it is, honestly, but you might know what I'm talking about.
Yes, I do know what you're talking about. So, uh, I think most, animators in the fandom, um, don't focus a lot on, like, special effects and, like, the, like, post-editing, like, not the drawing part, but, like, the editing part of the actual, like, animatic. So, I'm just, like, a sucker for, like, Adobe After Effects, basically, so I really like to abuse it.
Mm-hmm. I could definitely tell. I like it a lot.
Yeah, so, honestly, it's kinda even hard to call my animatics because like, that is it's really not how you do animatics. I just like playing with effects and transitions. So I spend a lot of time on After Effects kind of thing.
Well, it
But
looks
I
super cool.
yeah, like, and I feel like I've just accepted it as, like, I don't know, part of my style at this point, because it's, like, the one thing that makes me kinda different from the other animators. So, like, yeah.
Oh, I think it's an awesome style. It's really, really unique. Um, I've noticed like a lot of what you use. Um, it all makes it feel very cinematic, I will say. Kind of like everything feels a lot like a music video.
Yes. That's probably 'cause I get heavily inspired by those really, like, anime-styled music videos.
Mm-hmm.
So that
Mm-hmm.
might be the reason, like, I guess I've always wanted to make one, but it's also very time-consuming, so I just resolved to making animatics.
Fair enough. Fair enough. But do you think you'd ever make
Mhm.
one in the future?
Yeah, probably, if I can gather enough, like, people, get a team, work on it together.
That'd be
That's,
super cool to
possible.
see.
That would be sick, yeah.
That's super neat. Okay, so there's actually one part of your animation that I've noticed that's like I haven't seen anyone else do. I don't know what it's called or how to explain it at all, but like I
Mhm.
think it's okay. Look, I might sound really dumb here, but I do not know like art terms and animatic terms, like animation terms.
Understandable. Mhm.
Is it motion tweening? Is that the correct word? It's like
Like
when you make things move, kind.
like like when it's like a still thing, but it kind of moves a little here and there.
I think you use it there too, but like, oh, a good example is like in your animation Call of the Egg when the vines are
Mhm.
growing in one scene, like they kind of move, but it's not like they're animated moving or it's just like frames going, you know. It seems like there's like something a little bit something else there, you know?
Oh, like when the vines are growing, right?
Yeah, let me pull it up real quick and see.
Oh wait, is it like the parts that kind of seem oddly smooth?
Yes, yes, that's it. That's exactly what I'm talking about.
There's this basically I forgot what it's called as well. It's kind of awkward, but there's this little feature on After Effects that kind of lets you do that to your videos. But like it doesn't always work out nicely, so that I don't use it too much. But I
I
forgot what it's
see.
called. Give me a second. I
No
don't think
rush,
I
no
can
rush.
find it. I have no idea what it's called. It's just a little feature. I
If
found it
you,
one day and I was like, "Whoa, this is cool," you know? So I
mhm.
started abusing it like crazy.
If you actually think you could find it, I would really like to know what it's called. I think that'd be super interesting.
Okay. Well, give me a second as I ask my friend Google.
Nice, nice. But yeah, I'm looking at the Call of the Egg animatic right now, and you use it a lot there, and I think it really adds to the effect. Like even in some parts where it's like a little bit, it feels a little bit unsettling and unnatural, and like that just, the whole vibe is enhanced by that. I think.
Yeah, cause basically what it does is like so like my videos are 24 FPS, but usually I animate on like very weird frame rates. Like sometimes I do 12, sometimes I reduce the frame rate because I'm lazy. So what the feature
Fair enough.
does is it like automatically adds the frame in between. So it makes it 24 FPS.
I
But like
see. I see.
yeah, it's kind of like an AI thing. I totally forgot what it's called. Kind of awkward, isn't it?
No, it's okay. It's okay. It's not like I know any better. I don't. I don't expect you to just have all these terms memorized. Um,
Hmm?
is it interlopation? No,
It
interpolation.
Yes, 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 yes.
Interpolation.
That's what
There we
it's
go.
called.
That's it. That's it. We got it.
Yes, yes, we got it. Oh my god.
Thank you, Noodle. Okay, jeez. I don't know how much of that I can cut out. Okay,
Oh my god.
interpolation is what it's called, audience. There you go.
Yes, yeah.
We definitely knew that right
Oh,
from the beginning. Haha.
yeah, we knew that. I totally knew that. I use it so often. Of course I'll know it, right? Yeah,
Yeah,
I
we're
was
all
just testing you.
professionals here. We're all professionals here. It was just a test.
Yeah, yeah, just a test. We were just testing you guys.
Comment down below if you guys knew that at home or if you didn't know it and you're a loser. Anyways. Okay. Well, cool. All right, but yeah, interlopation. I would say like on a lot of other animations, I don't think it would work as well as you make it work cuz like it really just makes the like horror feeling so much like so much better. Like the look of the vines growing feels so like
Mhm.
I almost want to describe it as a little bit uncanny in like a really good way.
Mhm.
It does
I
freak me
think
out.
it's because of the sudden change in frame rate. It's suddenly so much smoother than everything else, and it makes it kind of like, oh, this is moving weirdly, you know?
Yeah, like it just feels off. I like that though. It's super cool.
I used it in a lot of other scenes as well, like in Confrontation. There's this part in the middle where Ranboo blinks, and it's like a really smooth scene. And yeah, I think it's just really good in certain parts. But I try not to use it too much because sometimes it just looks kind of meh.
Right. I do think like after watching all of your animatics like before this, I can definitely see that your use of it like improves a lot as you went on, which is
Yeah, I
really cool to
started
see.
using it more later on. I think the earlier ones don't really have it.
Yeah. That's cool though.
Mhm.
For the record, people watching this, the entire pentology of the Ranboo animatic series will be in the description. I highly recommend you check it out. It is well worth your time. Incredible animation. Okay, so we kind of already touched on it a little bit, but how would you describe your own style as far as animation goes?
My own style, it's very angsty. I it's just
Very
very
true.
angsty. I think I also lean more on the Japanese anime art style more than other people.
I can definitely see that influence, especially like in your avatar that you have at the end of every episode.
Yes, yes. That is my character. But
That's cool.
yeah. Mhm.
What is your favorite animation that you've done?
My favorite? Oh, I definitely have a favorite. It's one of the earlier on ones actually, but it's still my favorite till this day. It's called Stockholm Syndrome.
Mm-hmm.
It's about Tommy's exile arc. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember seeing this one. I like it a lot. Colors are super cool. I think the sun, like in that at the beginning, I love the pinks and
Mhm.
reds, and how the green clashes with
Mhm.
everything. Well, it doesn't really clash, I
Yes,
shouldn't say,
yes.
but it definitely does like contrast, I suppose.
hmm I remember working on this one actually. It was kind of crazy. I was working on it December last year, and
Mm-hmm.
I was like working through like Christmas and New Year's. Like I was just grinding. It was like so much work, but I was like, man, this is good actually. I was like super proud of it though. So it was, I
Yeah,
was just really
that's awesome.
motivated. And also, I think Tommy's exile arc was like my favorite like plot like storyline from the Dream SMP.
Mm-hmm. Good choice. I love the Exile arc.
Mhm. It's just very I don't know, it's very edgy, honestly.
It
But
is very
I
edgy,
don't know.
but in a good
Yeah,
way. I think they
it's
do it
just
well.
like it portrays so much emotions. I don't know, like that arc.
Agreed, agreed. So, would you say you're
Mhm.
more when you watch the Dream SMP, like what parts of the Dream SMP do you like the most? Like what side of it do you enjoy the most? Like more of the antics or like the edgy lore? I guess you kind of already answered this question, but I'm asking anyways.
The Dream SMP, I got into fandom through the really edgy lore,
Mhm.
like, 'cause I basically have no sense of humor, but like we don't talk about that. But uh I mean, considering I like Tommy's exile arc and I also like Ranboo's storyline, it you know, I just like that side of the Dream SMP, but it's kind of sad because it's been a hot minute since there's been any of that, on the server.
It really has, which is
Yeah.
really unfortunate. I am still patiently awaiting so much stuff. Ugh.
It's kind of getting dry. I see a lot of animators are like slowly leaving the fandom because like honestly, like at this point, like it's like the fandom carrying this whole like fandom. I don't know if
Yeah.
you get what I mean.
No, I get exactly what you mean. Like the fandom is riding on top of the fans now, less so than the creators,
Mm,
which is unfortunate, but
yeah,
like, you know.
it's really sad actually.
Yeah. I mean, like there's so much stuff that's been set up, but it's all moving so slowly. And it's also hard to
Yeah.
blame like the people involved like on the Dream SMP because so much stuff has happened to them, like even in real
Mhm.
life, but it still hurts to be a fan of this SMP a little bit.
Mhm.
But yeah, I guess it's just how it is. We'll see. I know some people have come out and said like that they aren't interested in doing lore.
Mhm.
Like I think Tovo said something about that, though I've only heard this like uh from like secondhand, so I don't know for sure.
Yeah, I have this little lore discussion thing in my Discord server, and then
Mm-hmm.
those guys kind of ping me every time there's like something cool, animatic worthy going on. I'm like, oh.
Nice, nice.
Mhm.
Actually, yeah, that leads me to another question. How do you come up with the ideas for your animatic? Like, how do you choose what you're going to do? I suppose. Does it like start with a
Uh,
music or a music? Does it like start with a song or more like an event that you decide you want to animate?
I think I will pick an event first, and then I'll start picking like soundtracks or music that I think fits, and then I'll like
Okay,
cut the audio out, piece the actual like audio track, and then just work my way on like slowly through the animatic, basically.
okay. That's cool. That's cool.
Like I do a storyboard to the soundtrack, but I barely follow it honestly. So like
Fair enough.
I kind of just yeet it, just figure it out as I go.
Well, it comes out well enough. Obviously, it's working in some way.
I guess so. So then like how I said I pick an event and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna animate this, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Sometimes I try to reach out for a collab because
Mm-hmm.
I always like collabing with like musicians and stuff. And
Right,
I don't
right.
know,
I
it's just really
guess.
fun to work to like a song that someone's made. So
Mm-hmm.
which is why I've in the past I've reached out to like the River Cat and like Crow and some other people.
Yeah, that's
But I
super
just
cool. I
yeah.
really love Mr.
Mhm.
Bones. It is so good.
Yeah, I love this song. It is such a good song. It's actually really funny how that happened because I was like basically me and Crow just became Twitter mutuals. And then I was just like, man, I want to collab with this guy. So I was just like, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, on my Twitter. I was just like, "Hey, anyone want to collab?" And then he messaged me. I was like, "Just the person I was looking for." So,
Nice, nice.
mhm.
Turned out well.
Yeah, definitely.
Good stuff. Yeah, that song goes hard on its own, but the animation makes it so much better. I love like the really fast transitions that happen. So good.
Mhm. Thank you, thank you. Glad you
Yeah,
like it. I really liked it too.
yeah, it came out so well. I love it.
Mhm. I spent like way too long on that, like a ridiculous amount of time, like unnecessarily, because I kept procrastinating.
Nice.
Like it's really hard not to procrastinate when YouTube is such a self-driven thing.
That's really true. That's like, yeah, that's one thing about YouTube that makes it really, really difficult, especially if like it's not your job.
Mhm.
Speaking of that, how do you feel about your like immense amount of success on YouTube? Like 130,000 subscribers.
It's kind of crazy because honestly, I've had this channel for a very long time, but it only
Hmm.
started blowing up after I started making Dream SMPs. So I had like 20K subscribers before I got into Dream SMP, and
Hmm.
then it just somehow happened. I was like, what? This is okay. This is pretty cool.
It is pretty cool indeed, I agree.
Uh-huh. Like, I mean, I don't really know how to feel about it. I mean, I guess it's kind of cool. You can flex it to your friend and be like, "Hey, I got a play button." But,
It is a pretty neat flex, I will say. I will say.
mhm.
What was it like to see the your first Dream SMP video like slowly? Well, was it a slow rise or was it a sudden like leap in viewership?
It was definitely a leap. Like, it's not as crazy as the views I got later on down the line, but like my first video for like Dream SMP still got like way more views than my previous videos. Just cause like before Dream SMP, I was kind of just aimlessly wondering. I was just like, "Oh, I'll just make this and I'll post this. I'll maybe make that."
That's
But
cool. That's cool.
mm, but yeah, it was definitely like a sudden increase, and I was like, "This is actually like people actually like this." So then I started like putting more effort into it.
Good stuff. Yeah. I can definitely tell
Mhm.
that your popularity has only continued to rise. It's really neat. Do you plan to continue doing like animatics on YouTube for a while, or do you have somewhere else you want to take your animation and art in general?
uh, so basically, I'm an animation student, right? I studied
Hmm.
animation in university, and I actually just like finished my course like 3 days ago. So like that's a thing. But
Uh-huh. How
uh,
exciting.
you know, I actually do wanna like I don't know, I want YouTube to be a long-term thing. Like I want it to be like I don't know. I just think like compared to working in like let's just say like other animation studios like the bigger studios like Pixar and stuff. Like,
Right,
compared
right.
to like compared to those, like, working for those, like, having a YouTube is like you have your own work out there, like, people know you for your work, whereas when you work for someone else, you just kinda become, like, this name in their credit kinda thing. Like,
That's
I
really
kind of
true.
want to be known for my own work, like an artist, and not like an animator. I don't really know what I'm saying, but,
No, no, that makes
uh
perfect sense. I completely get what you're saying. It's a lot more
mhm.
like you're a lot more recognizable when you're making purely like your own stuff and working on it, you know, by
Yeah.
yourself or like with like a very small amount of like people like with collaborations and stuff than when you're just
Mhm.
like contributing one little piece to like a Disney movie that's gonna have like 200 animators in the credits. I completely get what you're
Mhm.
saying.
Yeah. And like doing YouTube, you just have so much more like creative freedom, I guess. Like you get to do what you want to do.
That's
Like
really accurate.
you can
Yeah.
like put your own ideas out there and that I guess I'm just kind of into that.
Yeah, no, that's completely fair. I completely get where you're coming from. Yeah, that's
Mhm.
really, really cool. Do you want like YouTube to be a career for you?
You know, I mean, that would be pretty cool, right? But that seems like something that's pretty hard to do, I guess.
Well, I think most people would say it's pretty hard to get 130,000 subscribers, honestly. I don't know. I think you're well
Fair
on your way
enough.
there already.
Fair enough. I guess if I can like keep it up and just keep working on stuff and don't just procrastinate all the time, I can maybe make it work, but that it would be pretty sick if it ends up working out because
It would be pretty
YouTube is
sick.
something I really enjoy doing and yeah.
Yeah, yeah. All right, well, good luck with that. I really hope it works out for you.
Thank you, thank you.
Do you have any plans for future animatics right now? Are you working on anything?
I am actually. I have
Ooh.
two projects I'm working on right now.
Go on.
One of them is Dream SMP related. The other one is another SMP. I don't know if you've heard of like Last Life. It's like another Minecraft series on YouTube
I have
with
heard of
like
it. I've never seen it, but I have heard of it.
yeah, so it's like this really it's not really role play, but like it's like a bunch of YouTubers coming together every week and recording at the same amount of like same time and then they have like a certain amount of lives and then whoever like survives at the end wins. And
Mm-hmm.
then yeah, I guess I just really enjoyed the series and I just saw a lot of really animatic worthy scenes. And I was like, this will be pretty cool as an animatic. So I am working on something like that. Dream
Aha.
SMP wise, it's a collab with a friend of mine
Mm-hmm.
because my friend wrote this song that I wanna animate. Just a really short 1 minute thing, and it's probably gonna be focused around like the prison arc, which is I mean it's still ongoing, but yeah, something to do with Dream in prison. I just have to get creative with that because nothing's really happening, but I've got some cool ideas. So yeah. hmm
That's awesome. I'm so excited to see that. How cool. Listen to that, viewers. A little sneak peek into some secret info on DropsteR's next projects. How exciting.
Oh my god.
All right. Well, I think we're about at the time where we can start wrapping this up, but I have one last thing to ask you. Do you have any
hmm
advice for other artists and like creative people out there in general? It can be specifically about like animation and art, or it can be like just about creativity in general.
I guess find out what you're passionate about and don't make something just for like a trend or like just for like the sake of it being popular. Make something that you really enjoy. Um and with
Hmm.
art wise, don't compare yourself to other people. Like there's always going to be a learning curve no matter like who like no matter who's like drawing, right? Like there's always going to be like a difference in like skill levels because everyone started at different times. So I say just do your own thing, work on your own art style, and yeah, just be you.
All right, awesome.
Pretty
Very
much.
good advice.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's super important.
That was so corny. We didn't talk about that.
No, that's okay. It's okay. It's good advice. It's good advice. It's important stuff to know. All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on the podcast, DropsteR. It was a pleasure to have you. If you guys want to check out DropsteR stuff, the link will be in the description, as well as everybody else who's been on this episode of the podcast.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. Haha. I'm so awkward.
Thank you so much for coming on, DropsteR. I will see you guys in the next episode. Next up on the Create Stuff podcast, special episode part 2, maybe episode 10, maybe 11, somewhere around there probably, MelodyAnimations. Hello and welcome, Melody.
Hi.
Okay. Well, Melody, can you tell us real quick what you do?
Yes, I run a YouTube channel called MelodyAnimation where I post animations and stuff. At least I try to.
Okay, all right. And can you maybe tell us a little bit about like some of your works, like some of the things you've made that people might recognize?
Yes, I've made many different animations for many different fandoms, but mainly I do Dream SMP stuff at the moment. Like, I animated this finale episode that was on November 16th, and I animated one that was called Just Like You, and I also animated other stuff from other fandoms, like one called Dollhouse, Promised Neverland, and other things like that.
All right, all right. Can you tell me more about your creative process?
Yes, I can. So when I started my channel, my main goal was just to get better at art, and mainly I was always like considered good at art from like in real life, but it's always like you're good at art for your age, you know? But I wanted to be good at art in general. With if someone didn't know who I was, I decided, oh, I'll just start a channel, then no one knows who I am, so they'll have no prerequisite opinions. But I mainly want to do it to get better and to have more motivation to do it. So for most of my videos, I think, what's one thing I really want to improve on? And I choose that one thing. I'm like, okay, I will get better at this one thing and I'll focus on that. So, for example, with the Just Like You animatic, I was like, I want to get my animation very smooth. Because before, like, it was okay, but it didn't feel natural, you know, or it just didn't feel smooth enough. Because my in-betweens weren't very good. So I was like, that's what I'm going to focus on. And that's why it's not in color like a lot of my other ones. I wasn't focusing on that. I was focusing on it being smooth. Or the finale animation, my main focus with it was getting it very long and focusing on the timing. So as you can see, that one was less smooth, but that one was fully colored and it was lip synced. So that one was a lot longer because that's what I was focusing on.
Okay, okay. Interesting, interesting.
I kind of, my first animation, I was like, my goal for this animation is I want to make an animation, and that's my goal. And then from there, I just was like, okay, I looked back in my last video, I was like, okay, what did I not do well in this video? And now I'm going to try and do that better. And then the thing with animation a lot of the time is that it takes forever, and you just kind of have to set priorities for yourself, because otherwise you'll just never get anything done. So some things just have to fall to the wayside sometimes. So giving one thing to focus on means that I'm still improving, but it's actually doable still.
Okay, okay. That's interesting. That's a good way to get better. I like that. So what got you into doing the Dream SMP specific animations?
Well, let's go back to the beginning. So I started animations because my sister started a YouTube channel, and I was like, she did animation too, and I wanted to do that too, because she was way better at me at animation, and she doesn't really talk to me as much. So I was like, well, I can't learn from her, so I have to do it myself. So I started my channel with that goal, and then after a while, I was like, I kind of just go for what inspires me. So at the time, the way it happened was basically that Satis posted the War animatic, and I knew her before from Hollow Knight, her Hollow Knight animations, and I made Hollow Knight animation before too. So when I saw that, I was like, I already watched some Minecraft YouTube because I liked Minecraft YouTube when I was a kid, and now that I'm older, I was like, I kind of got back into it. So I already knew some things. I just hadn't watched the SMP yet because it was on Twitch, and I had never used Twitch before, so I didn't really know anything about it. And that kind of inspired me to go check it out. And then from that, I met a lot of other people in the fandom, which made me stick around longer. And that's kind of how I got into making animations about it.
All right, that's really cool. That's really cool. So how did it feel to have that sudden, how did it feel when you suddenly blew up in popularity from your two dream animations, Minecraft Manhunt, but it's animated, and the two sides of Dream Animation, which got 10 million views and 7.6 million views, respectively?
Yeah, so it's kind of funny, actually. The Minecraft Manhunt, but it's animated video, actually blew up first. So
really,
it just kind of vacuumed the views over, because some people they would watch that video and they would see the other one they recommended, so it kind of boosted it up alongside each other. But originally, the Two Sides of Dream was doing well, but it was doing better than my other videos, but it wasn't completely out of the crazy yet. So when I made the Minecraft Manhunt, but it's animated video, like I said, I had one goal with every one. The Two Sides of Dream animation, for that one, my goal was I'm gonna make an animation in one day, because it was my last day before school started, and I was like, this is my last day, I'm gonna make the most of it. For most of the summer, when I was making my other animations, and whenever I had free time, I was watching Dream's videos just to give myself a break. So I was like, you know what? This is my last day. I'm going to animate this, and I'm going to do it in one day, and that's my goal. And I did that, and the result is, you know, we don't have to talk about that part. But the next after that, school started, and then I was like, okay, my goal now should be I wonder if I can actually make an animation while school's going on. Because before I made animations during school, but it was like mostly during breaks, and then COVID happened, so then we barely had any work. So then summer happened. So all before I had a lot of free time, which I wasn't gonna have anymore. So I was like, I wonder if I can still keep this up while school's going on. So I was like, okay, I have this long batch of audio from these videos I like, and I split them up into sections. And I'm like, okay. And I split them up into sections so I can, like, if I wasn't able to finish, I could just scrap over those sections and say, okay, this is still finished, you know?
Okay.
Yeah. So, and then that happened, and then I posted the video. And at first I thought, yeah, I don't know how well this is gonna do. I made it during school, so it was like, it's very that good. I didn't have a lot of time to work on it. So I just kind of posted it. I had a feeling it was gonna do at least a little, because the last video did good. So I had a feeling it was gonna do at least somewhat well, since, you know, that topic was kind of blowing up on YouTube, and that's kind of just how it works. But I remember I stepped away from my computer for like a few hours, and then I came back, and I checked the view count, and I was like, it only had like 30,000 views at the time. That was a lot for me, okay? So I was like, what? How did this happen? I went away for a few hours, and I come back, and it has this many, and I went down to my living room, and I just like walked around for a bit. I was like, this is very strange. And I thought about it. I was like, well, it's probably fine, probably. And that was when it had 30,000 views. Now it has 10 million. So at that point, it was just kind of incomprehensible. So I kind of just focused on making more at that point, because I just didn't really know what to do anymore. It was very overwhelming at first, but then I kind of just it helps a little bit that the topic isn't about me. I'm just animating someone else's content, so it takes the focus off of me a little bit. So it feels a lot less overwhelming than it would if it was just me, which helped a lot for me to rationalize it. But yeah, it was definitely overwhelming at first, but now it's just kind of like, yeah, it's cool, but I try not to focus on it.
Okay. Interesting. So in that case, how do you feel about the fact, like, how do you feel about the amount of subscribers you have now, and like your following?
It's very weird because I never really did anything on the internet before this. I was more like a ghost, where I would just see everything happening, and I would look at it and be like, okay, that's cool. But I would never comment on anything. I wouldn't even post anything. I had like accounts, but there was like no video. For a while, I didn't even subscribe to anyone. I was that much of a ghost, you know? I was like my watch history, and that's it, I guess. I didn't even like videos back then. It was crazy, right? I didn't interact at all. And then suddenly I interacted with people all the time, every day. People commenting in my comment section. I would comment back, and they'd be like, I can't believe you responded. I'm like, yeah, I mean, I just felt like it. I don't know. So it's very interesting. It's really difficult to visualize that number, but it doesn't really mean anything to me. It's kind of like the thing where it's just like I said before, where I want people to like my art separately from who I am. Like, they don't even know who I am, and they still like it. That kind of feeling, because they're not biased then, basically. So, well, it definitely helps boost my ego a little. Like, not ego, just self-confidence, which helps a lot in art, because you really have to put yourself out there a lot of the time, because there's so many other people who are really good. So it's important to have at least a little bit of self-confidence with that, and it definitely helping with real life, and in real life too, having that confidence from that. So yeah, I would say that was the main benefit.
Okay, all right, that's interesting.
Yeah, like it was like yeah, it was like a visual representation, like a quantifiable value of my work, you know, because art is very subjective, so it's hard to say if something's really good or not, but it definitely helps show like, yes, I am on the right path. I'm doing good.
Okay, that's interesting. This is a nice boost in self-confidence. That's like so important to have for artists nowadays with all the competition there is everywhere.
Yeah.
Especially in this fandom. But I shouldn't necessarily say that. There's a lot of competition, but there's also a ridiculous amount of support too.
Yeah, most people, people say this fandom is toxic, but I guarantee you that's literally just Twitter. That's a Twitter thing, okay? That's not our fandom thing. That's a Twitter thing, okay? Everyone I've met, it's always Twitter, so okay. But everyone I've met in the fandom has been super nice. If you look at my channel, I've done a lot of multi-animator projects before, and I joined a server with a bunch of other artists, and everyone there is super nice, even if you don't even know them. Like, it's very great environment to like learn and improve. Like I always go to a bunch of artist friends I've had here and I ask them, hey, can you help me with this thing? The colors are off and I don't know why. Or this like for the Dream SMP finale animation, the thumbnail originally looked very different and very bad, and I went to my friend her name is Maddie. She's very nice. She's very good, and she's way better than me, but anyway. And I went to her and I was like, there's something wrong with this, and I can't tell what it is. So then me and her like troubleshooted a little bit, and then eventually we found out what it was and we fixed it, and now the thumbnail looks amazing. So everyone here is super supportive, which is nice.
Okay, yeah, I could not agree more. Everybody is like super supportive. Even everybody I've had on this podcast related to the Dream SMP, and everybody I've had in general, of course, has been like very, very nice. A lot of people I've interacted with, like, it is surprising. I don't think any other fandom like that I've tried to get people from, like creators from, have like had people that are so nice to me about it. Even when they say no, they're like just so like calm and gentle, and be like, they actually respond to me too, which is very nice. So
yeah, I think a lot of that is that, I mean, we're making animations about Minecraft roleplay, so we're not very judgmental people, I guess you could say.
That's a fair point. That's a fair point. Though it also is I think this has had a good impact on cringe culture, honestly, because it feels like,
I know, it's great.
Yeah, like,
yeah, cringe culture is terrible. It's just another way of judging people who they're just enjoying themselves without bringing harm to anyone else, so who cares,
But yeah, I feel like, honestly, with a fandom like this, it's just opened so many people up to get into like art and so many different types of art too, and just made it a lot easier for people to find an audience. And I don't think any of that can really be said to be cringy, if you ask me. So yeah, screw cringe culture. But you said that you've actually participated in some multi-artist projects.
Multi-animator projects, yes.
Ah, okay. So that's what a map is. I was actually going to ask about that.
Yes, that is what a map is. I don't do them too often because a lot of the times they don't get finished, and that's very annoying because then you put a lot of work into nothing. I also don't do them very often because you're often very short, which is nice because you get them done faster, but I usually prefer longer projects, but it's really nice for the collaboration. My favorite one was probably the Turn the Lights Off multi-animator project that one of my friends, Taffy Waves, she hosted it, and I met so many amazing artists in that one. A lot of them I still talk to this day, so it's a great way to get to know more people and have more connections and stuff.
Yeah, that's really cool. That's really neat. So how do you like find out about stuff like that? Do you get invited to them, or like are there auditions? What's going on there?
Yes, it's like an audition process where someone posts a original video and they have like the song, and they separate it into different parts, and then you comment in the comment section like, I want these parts, and here's my example of my work, basically.
Okay, that's really cool. That's really cool. I love collaborative stuff like that. Super neat.
Yeah, it was actually kind of frightening the first time because on the Turn the Lights Off map, what happened was I was like, "Can I have this part?" But then the topic was like, "Oh, I really like your work, but I already have a part for everyone, so there's no room for you. But you can be a backup if you like." And a backup, it's like if someone can't finish, then you take their spot basically. And one person dropped out, and I took their spot. So sorry.
Awesome, awesome. No, that's good luck. That is some incredibly good luck.
That is very good luck.
All right. Well, do you have anything in specific you want to talk about?
I've noticed that you asked a bunch of people what are they working on in the future. I would like to talk about that a lot because I've been working on like a very big project that I'm very excited about.
Okay, go on. Tell me more. I would love to hear this.
Yes, so it's in a similar vein to my Dream SMP finale animation, where it's like mostly voice acting with accompaniment and music, and then I animate it. So it's like that, but longer and better animated. And I've been working on it actually in between some of my other videos. So I've been working on it for the past, say, 6 or 7 months. So I've been working it since the Just Like You animation was happening. I started it like directly after that, and I've been working on it for the past 7 months. I've been making some stuff in between, so you don't just get no videos for 7 months, but I've been working on nonstop on that basically for like a long time. It's a very long video, which is why it takes me so long, and it's about 20 minutes long, and I'm about 80% finished with it.
Oh my gosh.
It's gonna be about, I would say, a few more weeks until I'm done, and it's also gonna take a lot longer to render and stuff like that, After Effect kind of things.
Okay.
Things. But
that's awesome.
when I finish it, it's definitely my most ambitious animation yet.
That is super cool. Yeah, 20 minutes. That is insane for an animation. I cannot wait to see that. Is it just you working on it, or are there multiple people?
It's just me. Originally, it was basically like a Dream SMP animated series, basically. What it's like. Originally, I joined a team of people who were doing it, but I realized there was nothing wrong with this team. They're all super nice people. But I realized I had very little creative freedom with it because I was working with a large group, which is just something that happens when you're doing that. It's not like a map where everyone does their own part and they have full creative control over that part. It has to be more succinct than that, you know. It has to be more fluid. It has to flow together. So everyone has to use like the same art style and things. You only get to be the animator. You can't be the writer, director. You can't do everything yourself, basically. And so I joined that project and I realized, man, I can't follow any of the ideas I had for this if I work with all these other people, even though they're really nice about it. So I decided to leave that and try to do it myself, which was, in hindsight, not the best idea. I feel like I'm just performing the sunk cost fallacy in real time, where the more I work on, I'm like, well, I can't give up now. I've done all this work already. I have to finish it now. But it's taking a while. Let's just say that.
I can imagine. Like, do you regret leaving that team and like going to work on your own thing?
I wouldn't say so because they haven't released their first episode yet either. So I guess we'll just see who's first the punch, eh?
Oh gosh, all right, a little rivalry going on here. How exciting!
No, no rivalry. I'll promote them, okay? Sure.
We'll see who wins the battle. Okay, all right.
There is one difference between us, is that they're using their own voice actors, and I'm still only using the stream clips, which I like better because I feel like whenever, no offense to the voice actors, they're doing an incredible job. I've heard some of their stuff; it's really good, but I feel like it loses some of the charm in it, where it's like it's not performed live and not the original people, so you lose some of the essence in the characters.
Okay, fair enough. I can see what you're saying. Okay, that's awesome. I cannot wait to see that. Do you, so, like, it's just you working on this, right? Like, nobody else is contributing to this at all?
Yeah, just me. If I do make more episodes, though, I'm gonna hire someone to do the backgrounds because I'm really bad at them, and I am so bad at backgrounds. know how I said on every animation I choose one thing to work on? I've never chose the backgrounds as one of them, and there's a reason for that.
Okay, all right, interesting. I cannot wait to see that. That's awesome. Can you tell us any perhaps secret details you haven't released yet about this?
I've posted some sneak peeks on my community tab
Mm-hmm.
of just screenshots, and by sneak peeks I mean a single sneak peek, but
Okay. How exciting. Oh, what events are you planning on focusing on in this one?
yeah, so I skipped the beginning of the disc saga because it's very clumsily stored. It's the voice clips don't lend themselves well to animation because they're very discombobulated and they die a lot constantly, and you only get 3 canon lives, which they didn't really know at the time, but you can't really show that as well. So I skipped that entire first part, and I kind of just started when Wilbur joined, and it goes all the way to Lemanberg's independence. And a lot of that is informed by my favorite thing about the Dream SMP is that it's told through multiple perspectives, which is I find so amazing because depending on whose perspective you watch it, it completely changes how you perceive the story. So for me, when I started watching the Dream SMP, the only people I knew beforehand were Dream and Wilbur, and Dream never streamed, so it's like, well, I guess I'm going with Wilbur. And then I watched his perspective all the way to November 16th, where he died. So it was like, well, I guess I gotta choose someone else now. So then I chose Tommy because their perspectives were usually intertwined enough, so I didn't have to catch up on anything. So then I watched his perspective all the way until Wilbur got revived, and then I watched his perspective again, and I was like, I don't even recognize that anymore, but it's fine. So that my viewing experience very much informs my perception of the story and will inform this video a lot too.
Okay, that's super cool. I cannot wait to see it. That is a super neat thing. Is it all gonna be like from Wilbur's perspective then?
No, some of it will be from Tommy's perspective, but I had to go back and watch some of the old streams, which was it was a very interesting experience because it's been like a year later, so it was definitely interesting going back that far.
Yeah, I can imagine. I don't think I've actually gone and watched any old streams like since, they were, back then. I haven't even thought about how much it must have changed.
Yeah, it's changed a bunch. About the perspective thing again, I feel like you can see that a lot in my other videos too. So like in the Dream SMP finale one, when I watched the November 16 event while it was I watched it afterwards because I had a test in every class that day, so I watched it after it happened. But when I watched it first from Wilbur's perspective, so then I saw the button room stuff. But I didn't actually find out about Techno's speech until like 2 days afterwards when someone made an animatic about it. So that kind of informs. Someone asked me they're like, why did you decide to structure the video in this way? It doesn't feel right. And I'm like, oh, well, that's just this perspective I saw it in. So
that's interesting, actually. I never thought of that. That makes sense, though.
Yeah.
Very cool. I'm very excited to see that. That sounds incredibly cool.
I try. I've been working on. You understand? I've been working on it for so long. It's really annoying now though, because I took some breaks in between. Like I took like a 2-week break once because I was just so tired working on the same thing. And I realize now, if I hadn't taken those breaks, I would have been finished by now. And I'm like, it's a hard thing to balance,
No, I totally get you. Long projects like that are hard, but super.
Actually, for a long time, I haven't been backing up my files, which was probably a really bad thing.
Oh, yeah, jeez.
I can feel your pain through the recording software. I only backed it up like a week ago, and I already had minutes upon minutes and hours upon hours of work, like minutes upon minutes of footage and hours upon hours of work.
Right.
Done. I hadn't backed it up, and I was like, I should really do that because
I am very happy.
Now it's backed up.
You know what? That's actually smart. I should start backing up my recordings.
Well, the thing is, once you post on YouTube, then you're kind of good.
That's true. That is true.
At least save the final version, at least.
Right, definitely. Oh, so what is your plan for the future of your art, like in general, like even past the big project you're working on right now? Like, are you gonna keep making YouTube stuff, or do you want to make like a career out of this? Are you going to art school? What's the plan?
Yes, so I plan to go to art school when I graduate, and I'm probably going to be doing YouTube until then, and then I'll probably stop then because I won't have enough time after that. I do plan on going to art school because that is the career I want. I want to probably, I hope at least, I will be able to. I want to make cartoons one day, so I want to be like the director, the storyboarder, probably.
Okay.
But
Awesome.
I've actually gone to it. I go to a different school now than I went to last year. So I'm gonna have a lot more time to focus on my animation. So I won't be going away anytime soon.
Awesome. Very exciting. I'm happy to hear that. Okay, well, how should I start this? Do you think you could be able to make like money, a living off of YouTube with your animations on there?
I would love to. The only problem with that is a lot of my videos. I am monetized, but the problem is a lot of my videos they get copyright claimed because of the music. So I do make some money, but it's only off of like 3 videos out of all the videos I've made. So it doesn't
that's
help.
rough.
I can't make a living off of it. The little money I do make, I usually reinvest into the channel. Like recently, I've gotten a new drawing tablet, which hasn't actually been used in any of my videos yet, but it will be in the next one. So that's helped a lot because I used to. There's something really strange about my process a lot of people don't do is I used to draw on paper first, scan it into the computer, line it up with the song, and then do the line art on top of it, which was not very efficient.
No, it doesn't sound like it.
No, because you have to waste a lot of time scanning it in, and it's a lot more difficult to edit it when it's on paper than when it's on the computer, because you can't transform it or anything like that. So the animatics took a lot longer. But now with my new drawing tablet, because it actually has a screen on it and I don't have to like look up on my computer, it's a lot easier to use. And I bought it with the money I made from my YouTube channel. So I haven't made the money back yet, but I will, okay? So it's speeding up the process a lot.
Okay, all right. That's really cool. What do you think about like YouTube as a platform? Especially for animators.
I think YouTube is a great platform. I hate social media. I'm probably like the only child who will say that, but I generally don't like using it. I have a Twitter, but I never use it. Don't know why anyone follows me, but I don't know how anyone finds me. I don't have it linked anywhere because I only use it to like look at art occasionally.
It was not easy. It was not easy to find, but I did.
Congratulations. So YouTube is my platform of choice. Most of the time it's because you have to record it, upload it, edit, all of that stuff. People usually have to think out their thoughts a lot more, so it's a lot more refined. It really helps instead of people making quick decisions. And the only thing I would really say is the comment section, but that can be heavily moderated if you want to. You can just turn it off if you want to. It's not as big of a deal. It's definitely my platform of choice. In terms of animation, it's a lot more difficult because YouTube prefers longer videos that are made very quickly, which does not suit animation very well. However,
no,
I do think it's not very well. However, I do think it's a very good way of getting some, like putting your foot in the door, I guess you could say. It's a lot easier to get your videos out there than it is on other platforms.
Okay. That's true.
For me, I only took a few videos, really. At first I thought, man, this is going so slowly. I can't believe I'm not an instant hit, you know? But relatively speaking, it actually happened very fast for me, so.
Yeah, I could tell. That's awesome. All right. Just to round things out here, I'm gonna ask you the last question I ask everybody on this podcast, every person I've had on. Do you have any advice for any creators or well, artists and just creators in general who may be listening to this today? They can be about anything at all, or well, related to art naturally. When I say art, I mean creation in general, not just animation. Though it can just be about animation. Wow, what a terrible way to ask that, but you get what I mean.
I get you. I get what you mean. Yes, I would say I can only speak from my own experience, so I don't really know. If you're not in the same mindset as me, it might not apply to you, but I can only speak for myself. So what you create is never going to look exactly how you imagined it to. However, that doesn't mean that other people won't like it, and that doesn't mean you can't enjoy making it. You'll not always feel satisfied with your work. I look back on my old videos and I'm like, this is the worst thing. I can't even watch some of my old videos. Like, I've been talking about my Dream SMP finale video, but when I had to I rewatched it in preparation for this interview, and I had to take breaks every like a minute because I just couldn't watch it because I was so embarrassed. I was like, this is so terrible. I spelled Lemanberg wrong on the walls. I spelled in every single one of my videos that has text, and I've at least spelled one word wrong. I'm so bad at spelling. It's terrible. Okay, it's never going to come out exactly how you want it to. But that's okay. So I have an example of real life for instance. So there is this competition at my school for designing a bookmark, and the first year I was like, I really want to win this. So I entered the competition. I spent hours on my work, and I was like, this is it. It looks so good, and it did look very good. I don't want to pat myself on the back, but it did look very good. But you know what happened? And I told myself, if I don't win this competition, I'm going to stop drawing forever, because it means this much to me. So then, I lost the competition. Obviously, I did not stop drawing.
Thank goodness.
Was a few years ago. Thank goodness. This is a few years ago. The next year, I was like, I'm going to enter this competition again, and I spent even long. I took the winning bookmarks home with me, and I looked at them. I was like, what do these bookmarks have that I don't have? And no offense to the people who won, it didn't look very good. But I was like, okay, how can I improve upon their design while still improving upon my design and still making it my own? The next year, I spent hours of my time making the best bookmark ever. I won by a landslide. It wasn't even close. I was like, yes, I've done it. And then the next year, awesome. Next year, I didn't even care about winning. I was like, oh, I don't really care anymore. You know, I already did it. So then in my passing period between two of my classes, on the day the submissions were due, I was like, the final day the submissions were due. So it was like, you could turn it in at any time. I waited till the last day, and I was like, you know what, I guess I'll just do something random. And I spent like 2 minutes on it, and I turned it in, and I won again, this time without even trying. So
oh my gosh.
It's one failure shouldn't count you down, basically. Even if you're not good at something now or feel discouraged, doesn't mean you should give up entirely. The beauty of art is that there's no such thing as perfection. It can always be improved, and it's not every art is terrible. So it's never going to be one way or the other. Every art has something good in it, and every art has something that can still be better. All artists you look up to, no matter how great their work are, no matter how successful they are, they've probably felt the same inadequacy about their work at least once. So it's all part of the art process, and just don't let it keep you down, kind of thing.
All right. Wow, what a story. That is great. All right. Well, thank you so much for coming. Oh, sorry.
Has many twists and turns.
It does. You had me on the edge of my seat the whole time. All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. It was really great to have you. You have any last words for our guests, for our listeners?
No, I would just say thank you for having me. It was always been one of my dreams to be interviewed. I don't know why. I just really wanted to, and then you asked me, and I was like, what? No way. It was like the one time I ever checked so I guess the moral of the story is always check your DMs.
I am happy you did. I am happy you did. I was just about to send out like another wave of invites. I think I would have had too many people if I hadn't waited. All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on. It was great to have you.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. See you guys on the next one. Welcome our next guest on the special 9th episode of the Create Stuff podcast, Kazoo Does Art.
Hello, I'm Kazoo Does Art.
That's crazy. Oh my gosh. Well, Kazoo, could you just start by telling us real quickly, like, what you do?
Yeah, so I do more comedy-based animations for the, Dream SMP, MCYT stuff.
Okay. So you're the first guest on this special part of this of Create Stuff that actually focuses like on comedy instead of more serious stuff or like more music video type things, you know? So
yeah.
Can you just tell me why you choose to focus on comedy instead of anything else?
I think most of it, I do like to, do like more angsty drawings. I have like unfinished animations of more angsty animations that I've been wanting to finish. But I think really most of it is that like, I think I just enjoy doing it more. Like it's more of a simple process, and like, I guess I feel more comfortable watching it with my family, because if I like animate like, big angsty stuff, I don't know, I guess for some reason I'd feel kind of weird showing that to my family, even though like I have no reason to, but I don't know, I guess that is a factor.
I think I see what you're saying a little bit there. Okay, that's cool. So why the Dream SMP in specific?
Yeah, so I think around like June of last year, my little brother showed me and my older brother Dream's Manhunt video, and at first we were like, oh, just another Minecraft YouTuber, so cringe, but we watched it and we're like, oh, this is really cool. So we got into Dream for a bit, and then around like November, October, I started watching the Dream SMP streams because I watched Saddest animations. I was like, ooh, I want to do that. That looks so cool. So I started watching the streams and I was like, I want to start making animations for these. So I did that Technoblade versus Dream speed paint first. I released that, I think, November 30th. Yeah, that was like the best drawing I'd ever done at that time. And like, that's like what got me going, like, oh, I gotta keep doing this. So the next one I made was the actually, I think the next ones I made are like still unfinished, but one of them was the, let's do this trade techno animatic. That one, and then the next one I did, Carl's a pink boy, those ones they did all right, but then like the next one I did after that, the mod video, that one was like what blew up. It was January 14th. I remember that specifically, and like, it blew up. It got so many views instantly. I like ran inside. I was like, oh, guys, look at like this video. I'm getting so many subscribers. And we like had a party because we're so excited about it. But yeah, that's basically what got me into it. Just like, started watching the Dream SMP streams and deciding like, oh, I want to do something that Saddest does. And I still haven't, but I still want to.
Okay. That's cool. So, what were you doing before you got into the Dream SMP as far as art goes?
Let's see. I started working on like my own original like books and stories in September of 2017. So I think that's always been like my main base, like what I've been wanting to do with animation.
When you say like your own books, what do you mean?
So like, just like writing like novels, like I think I had about 9 stories with like over 100 characters that like, I connected the universes for. It's like very intricate, and I do still want to like, post more art about like my OCs and stuff because I feel like it was very good.
Oh, okay, that's super cool. So you're a writer too, then?
I am, yeah.
Okay, what is your series called?
So the first one is called Dream Locked. The second one is called Beyond Our World. I had one that I worked on with another friend called Horns and Halos. There's one called Imagine the End, I think. Yeah. And then one of them I don't have a name for yet. And then the other one is called Your Majesty. And then there's like a few that like I only had like basic concepts for.
Okay, gotcha. That's super cool. Is there a place that people can find these publicly, or are they like a private project?
It's mostly a private project right now. Like I said, I have been wanting to like, do more for it, maybe make like small short animations because, I really like the concepts of them.
Okay, that's actually really cool. I had no idea.
Hmm.
Very interesting. So, what got you to start doing art as well as writing?
Okay, so back in 2015 when I was 11, I was so I had a huge Five Nights at Freddy's phase, and I would watch animations for that. One that like I really got into was Tony Cry Nights series, and I was like, I really enjoyed watching those, and I was like, I want to do stuff like this someday, and like I would watch speed paints. I'd also watch gaming videos like Markiplier. And that was also something I wanted to do. I wanted to like have a channel where I did art, speed paints, animations, gaming. And I was originally going to call it Rainbolt, but that idea has of course been scrapped. But I still always have been wanting to do animations, maybe gaming. I don't know. Still like kind of deciding whether that would be like successful, but yeah, I've definitely still been wanting to do animations, so that's what got me into it.
Okay, that's super cool. So you said the Tommyinnit funniest Minecraft mod animatic kind of blew up. So
yeah,
is that what sort of influenced your rise from then on?
Yeah, so I'd always I think I would have kept going if it didn't blow up, but that was definitely what like, got me going like, oh, like I'm getting really big really fast, like this is great. Like I did not expect this to happen so soon.
Okay, that's cool. So, yeah, I noticed also after that, it's like every other video after a certain point was getting like millions of views for you.
Yeah, I think like I have 5 videos with over 1 million views.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was really surprised how many views the Tubbo touches the egg one got, cuz like, I just made that one in like 2 days or something. It was just like, some audio I wanted to use, and then it like turned out to be my most popular. And like,
Right.
I don't know what happened there, but yeah, it's probably the background. I don't know.
4.2 million views. Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah.
I think you just had good timing, honestly.
Yeah, probably.
So, which of your animatics are you like the most proud of, or are you the most happy with?
Ooh, that's a good question. I am a big fan of the like the Prime Apple one. I like that one a lot. But I think my favorite, it might be Jay Schlatt Wants to Chug Jug with You, but I don't know.
Yeah, that's how I found your channel originally. Incredibly cursed.
Yeah. Jay Schlatt turns into Tommyinnit. That one is really funny too. I really enjoyed making it.
I love that one too. Okay. Well, why are those your favorite then? What about them made you enjoy them so much?
I think, the comedic aspect, which I do enjoy having. I like Jay Schlatt. He's my favorite Dream SMP character. But I don't know. I guess I'm just the most proud of them for some reason.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
So let me ask a bit more about the comedy in your and like your focus on comedy in your animations. How do you what do you do in your animation / animatic that like animatics that add to the comedy, do you think? Are there like any techniques or anything like that?
I think just the facial expressions, really. I think like body language, I do that like classic whenever a character is in a state of panic, they'll like roll around, like do the worm. I think people do notice that is something I like to do a lot.
Okay. Do you have any other like signature things like that actually that you would say are kind of part of your style?
Well, I mean, I have the trans bowl in the Ranboo Bakes a Cake and the It's My Mac and Cheese one. I'm glad that people noticed those. I actually wasn't expecting anyone to, but
the trans bowl.
Yeah, so like at the end when George is like holding his bowl of mac and cheese and like the beginning when Ranboo is like the large amounts of bowls. There's like these 2 bowls. They're like just trans patterned, with like the trans flag, and everyone in the comments is like, "Oh, I can't believe nobody noticed the the trans flag bowl." But that's like 90% of the comments. I just say, yeah, I cannot speak today. Yeah, that was just really funny.
Okay, nice. What about like your art style? How would you describe your art style and how it differs from other people's?
I'm not sure. I've always had like kind of, well, not always, but recently I've been thinking like what does make my art style unique? And I think like I do have a pretty consistent art style with my animations. I think just with my like still drawings like on Twitter and all, I think I just kind of don't know what art style to use for those. But I'd say with my art style for my animations, it's like pretty consistent. And I think the biggest like signature thing for them is just that the faces and stuff change so much. Like every scene they'll be like in a different like configuration, pose, facial expression. I like to make things very dynamic.
Okay. Then I also want to ask, I've noticed one thing I've actually noticed about your style that differs from a lot of other people's that I like a lot is that your characters, like, the outlines are never just like solid black. They're always a color of some sort.
Oh yeah, that is something I like to do. I think it was inspired by that Dream versus Technoblade status animation. Like I saw the purple lines, I was like, ooh, those are good. And like when I did the Let's Do This Trade Techno, like I did the lines black, and it just kind of looked a bit muddy, Like I was like, yeah, I could try doing purple lines. That'd be a fun experiment. And I just really like that, so I just kept going.
Awesome, yeah, I like it a lot. It makes everything like stand out a lot more from a lot of other animatics. It just it feels playful too to me, which obviously fits your channel very well.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So you mentioned earlier you kind of want to take your channel somewhere else. Like you mentioned you want to start doing like gaming stuff, and you also want to continue through writing. Well, actually, let me just ask you in general, what is your plan for the future of your channel?
It's not like 100% clear to me, but I have, I mostly went into like my channel with the intention of like doing story videos, like like the Odd Ones Out, Jaden Animations, because like obviously because they have tons of subscribers, but also because I like telling stories about my life. But yeah, I think my plan for now, I do just kind of want to stick with like MCYT for like maybe just like as long as I have my channel, and then just like have personal projects in there as well.
Okay.
I don't know. I might just do a whole bunch of things because I like variety.
Okay. That's cool. Are you planning on like making this sort of like a career for you at any point if you could?
I do hope so. I am kind of counting on it, but I do want to plan to be flexible about it. Like if if the whole thing does flop, I'll figure out something else. But I do hope that like it can at least be a good like career starter.
Okay, that's cool. Then let me ask: Did you focus on the Dream SMP in part, like at all, in part because you wanted to ride like the popularity of it?
Honestly, I don't think so. I think it was just because like it was such a big like obsession for me because I got into it and I was like, oh, I love this so much. I want to like make content for it. And then like I just happened to get popular and I was like, oh, okay, I'm not mad.
Okay. Cool. Do you use any other platforms like for creative stuff?
I use like Twitter, Instagram, I think maybe more. I don't know. But those are like my 3 main ones. I think I do consider YouTube like my domain, my main channel, but I like to post on Twitter. That's where I post my art or drawings.
Okay. Oh, I just noticed that you're in Art Fright, actually.
Oh yeah.
Do you think you could tell me a little bit more about that? I remember watching a video on it a while back, but I think it's like super interesting. I would love to hear what part you played in it.
Yeah, so I had heard about it like throughout last year, and I was like, okay, I might as well join and see what it's all about. I never got like way too into it. I wanted to like, draw people's characters more, but at that time I was more busy with animations. So I never got the chance to, but I did post 2 of my characters on it. One was just me, and then the other was Rhyolite, a character that like I made for a D&D campaign that I didn't end up using, but I still liked her design. So I used that, and it ended up getting me a bit of fan art.
Very cool.
So, yeah.
Could you actually explain real quick, just for anybody who doesn't know, what Art Fight actually is?
Yeah, so, as far as I know, it's just like this thing where, you post your characters, you like explain stuff about them, you have references for them on your page, and then people can attack you, which is just them drawing your character, and then like your defense is like drawing their character or someone else's character. It's basically just like fan art for other people, but like a war. And there's 2 sides. I think this year it was like cyberpunk and steampunk. I was on the steampunk team. I don't know which one won, but
I'm looking at it right now. It looks like Team Steampunk actually won.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, congratulations.
Let's go, I won.
By only like 100,000, it looks like, from the score. Jeez.
Wow.
That's really cool, though. So how did you, like, let's say someone listening here wanted to perhaps apply to Art Fight next time it begins. Oh, looks like it actually doesn't begin until July 1st of next year. It's an annual thing. Okay, well, maybe that's a bit far off. But let's say someone is listening to this far, far into the future. How would they join?
So you just make an account. I think they just auto-assign you to a team, and like, if you just want to draw people's characters, have people draw yours, it's totally fun to join.
Okay, yeah, that's really cool. If you chat, or not chat, there's no chat. Listeners, if you want to check it out, I will include a link in the description for that. I think Art Fight is just such a cool project. I love stuff like that.
It is, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so could you actually take me through like your creative process?
Yeah, sure. So first thing I do, I'll like watch a stream or a VOD, whatever, and I'll be like, oh, that audio that just happened, or this video itself, like, it's really funny. So that could be something I could use for an animation. I use my iPad, just like the screen recording feature. I just record the part, I save it to my photos, save it to my files. I upload the file to Flip-A-Clip, and then I just like sketch it out, Flip-A-Clip, and then so I used to take screenshots of the frames and then upload them into Ibis to draw over them. But I found out recently that you can save Flip-A-Clip frames, which was very, like all the years training in the academy wasted,
Uh-huh.
That was definitely fun to figure out, that I could have been using a much easier process. But yeah, I just upload them into Ibis, draw over them, and then I take them back to Flip-A-Clip. Then I post it. But yeah, I just take whatever audio I think is like funny or interesting. But yeah, that's pretty much my process.
Okay, cool. Let me ask, is there anything else like about your art in general, or about like any your animatics, or like even a specific animatic that you want to talk about?
Ooh, okay. Well, I will say that I think the hardest animation I've done is the Ranboo Bakes a Cake one. Because that one, like, has a lot more movement, and it's super long. So, like, that one was definitely the hardest to do. I think the Prime Apple one, that one was also pretty hard.
Okay. I noticed you also have a mix of animations and animatics.
Yeah, I was never really sure what to, like, call them. So for usually just on my titles, I'm like, I'll just call this an animatic / animation, because I don't know which one it identifies as. But
Okay,
yeah, I guess animatic is just like when it moves more choppy, but I just got to get those keywords in the title.
Whatever will get the algorithm working, of course.
Exactly. Whatever gets the views.
Did you have anything else you wanted to talk about related to your animatics?
I guess apparently in April of this year, Tubbo reacted to the Jay Schlatt wants to chug jug with you video, and I didn't even know until like I didn't even know until like I think a month ago or two. But like I was like, why did no one tell me? It was like a really big deal to find out, because usually Tommy says like oh, animations are so cool, I'll always leave a comment on them. I'm like, okay, where's my comment, big man? Because I think the biggest comments, like comments from biggest YouTubers I've gotten on the Jay Schlatt wants to chug jug with you video, I got a comment from Shmoyoho, which are like the people who made the remix, and I'd been watching them for like I guess since I was 11, so that was like a really big deal to me.
That's awesome. Yeah, nice. All right, well, we still have a little bit of extra time, so I just want to ask a little bit more, some more fun stuff, maybe just about the Dream SMP in general.
Okay.
Yes, you said your favorite character is Schlatt. Why?
I love villains in anything. Villains are always my favorite characters.
Mm-hmm.
And Jay Schlatt, he's like, I like crazy villains. So he just completely fit the algorithm of like favorite character material, which is actually one of the reasons I started watching the Dream SMP, because I heard of Jay Schlatt and I was like, oh, he looks so cool, I want to get to this part. So I just keep asking my little brother like, oh, when am I gonna get to Jay Schlatt? And when I finally got to it, I was like, oh, I got to the Jay Schlatt part. I'm so excited.
Okay, that's awesome. Do you have any like Dream SMP headcanons?
Ooh. I the first one I could think of right now, I have a headcanon that Technoblade and Wilbur are like twins, and Phil found them in the Nether or something. I might have posted art for that. I think I might have just posted that in my Discord server. I don't know, but yeah, I do like that one. I feel like I have more, but I can't remember them right now.
Okay. That's cool.
Oh, one that I saw, just like a little one, I saw like a drawing of it on Twitter, is that there's this headcanon that since Wilbur has like a streak of white hair, GhostBur has like a streak of brown hair in his hair. And I really like that one too. So if I ever have to draw GhostBur again, I'll give him a little streak of brown hair.
I like that a lot, actually. That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Then let me ask, okay, let's say you yourself were like today or tomorrow, Dream SMP. Wow, nice. I'm starting that question over. I just like messed up so many times in that. Let's say tomorrow Dream asked you to join, if you wanted to join the Dream SMP. What kind of, would you say yes? And what kind of character would you play?
Oh, I would definitely say yes. That also was something I was hoping for when I was, like everyone hopes for. Right. It was something I hoped for when I started. I was like, oh man, if I get invited to the Dream SMP, I gotta get good at PvP and defeat Technoblade. I think the kind of character I would make, I'd probably mostly base it off of myself. I would like to play a villain if I was in an SMP. But, it does depend on, like, the lore, whatever's going on. I would like to be in an SMP if I ever get the opportunity. But if I was in the Dream SMP, man, that would be awesome.
Have you ever been invited to an SMP before?
No, I haven't.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll bring something up at the, after the podcast is over, because I don't want to say that on record.
Okay.
Okay, but yeah, that's cool. So what, if you were in the Dream SMP, what characters, let's say you were there right from the beginning, maybe as a side character, what, groups would you have aligned yourself with?
Probably Lomanberg.
Okay. And would your allegiance have ever changed or anything like that?
I'd probably, I'd probably, be, once Lomanberg was, taken over by Jay Schlatt, I'd probably still, you know, like love L'Manberg and like want it to thrive, but I'd probably like go all spy mode, you know, like pretend like, oh yeah, let's destroy L'Manberg, but like, you know, kind of be a spy on the inside.
Okay, okay. Wait, so like a spy for Pogtopia?
Either Pogtopia or like Schlapp. Yeah, like whatever side I'd end up on.
Okay, okay, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
Oh, you know, I just remembered. So you're in L'Manberg the musical, right?
I am, yeah.
Okay, could you tell me more about what you do for that?
Yeah, so I did storyboarding for scene 6, scene 7, and the Loverboy reprise. I don't know how to say that word. I I was supposed to do lighting as well, and I think I did it on like 2 frames, and I felt really bad about it because like I just disappeared for like most of the part, and most of it was because I couldn't download the frames onto my iPad to work with them. So I just like kind of left without saying anything, and I felt really bad about it. And like I wanted to say something, but yeah, I had already been gone for so long that I was like, I'll say it later, and then I didn't. But once it actually posted, I talked to one of the managers, and we kind of got things worked out. So
that's awesome. That's awesome. So what parts did you work on?
Yeah. So scene 6, scene 7, and Loverboy reprise. I don't know. I just did the storyboarding, which before the storyboarding, I thought that like it would be cleaned up a bit later. So I just kind of did like more of a sketchy, like simple art style. But that just went into the line art. I was like, oh, I should have put a bit more detail into that. So some of the frames are a bit scuffed, which I blame myself, but I think it does still look awesome, and I'm really excited about how it turned out.
I think it still looks awesome too, and I am like so happy with how everything came out there.
Yeah.
You know, one little thing about L'Manberg the musical that a lot of people watching may have noticed, and also, you know, if you go to my my YouTube channel and you look at like the most recent episode of Create Stuff, obviously, well, actually, no, I shouldn't say that because I don't know when this is coming out. If you look at the first episode of Create Stuff Extras, you'll notice I did a reaction to L'Manberg the musical with a bunch of people from the crew, and you should go check that out because you could totally hear what I'm about to say. Anyways, you might have noticed.
Yes, go check it out.
Yes. You should.
Endorsed by Kazoo Does Art.
Let's go. Create Stuff Podcast has been endorsed by Kazoo Does Art. Oh my gosh, that's insane. If you actually watch the musical, you'll notice that there are a lot of like people in the background with like varying designs and stuff, like hybrids even, not just like completely normal people. Those are actually mostly people from the crew. I think they're all people from the crew, unless they're like obviously a member of the Dream SMP that's like just hidden there or something. For story reasons. I don't know if that even happens or not, honestly. But most of those are members of the crew, and like they're Sonas. And I'm there too. You can actually see me in one frame, not one frame. You can see me in a few frames in Doodle's house.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So I think this is public information. So someone, I hate to say, I do not remember who it was, but someone actually messaged everyone in the Dream, in L'Manberg the musical, with this like Google form that we were asked to fill out. It wasn't like required or anything, but essentially we would fill out what our Sona was doing on the Dream SMP, you know, like where we were affiliated, what our like thing was, where we were for each like arc of the Dream SMP. Did you ever fill that out?
I didn't.
You didn't?
Well, I probably should enunciate that, but I did not.
Really?
I don't think I've ever heard of that, actually.
Oh, okay. Maybe that was well, when did you join, actually?
I think last year. Not really sure. I think the way I found it, one of my subscribers, I like went to their channel and they did like animatics too. I think it was Unused Spite. And I saw one of their videos. It was like L'Manberg musical, yes we exist. And I was like, oh, that looks cool. And it's like, you can join this way. I'll join that.
Okay.
But
cool,
not sure when that was, but it was a while ago for sure.
Okay, cool. Love Uncle Spite. Let me actually find this this form and send it to you, because you should fill it out, because it's very cool. Here. You should definitely fill that out at some point. Oh, ignore the M's. That's from me hitting M to mute my mic.
M.
To be fair, that is something I would honestly send, but I would have put a space in between the M's and the link. I'm not that much of that barbaric.
I didn't even question it. I was just like, oh, cool.
Okay, yeah, nice. All right, then I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up with the last question. Do you have any advice for other creators who might be watching this?
All right, so this might be long, but
that is completely okay.
I'd say I think that fame, popularity, views, subscribers, I don't think that measures like talent or worth at all. Like that's definitely not something that you should be like, I don't have subscribers, so therefore I'm bad at art. Like that's a very unhealthy way to think. So I think decide when you start, like, what do I want to do with my channel? Like, do I want to grow big? Do I want to make money off of it? Do I want to like make this my job, my career? And just like kind of decide then, and like if it is something that you want to do as a hobby, and just like draw, just post your art and don't worry about the views. I think that is the biggest thing to worry about with art. Just like don't worry about the views, because like if you want views, maybe you won't get them, maybe you will, but it doesn't measure how good you are. And then like if you do want a lot of views, something that like I don't know, like I think, okay, I'm gonna rephrase that. If you are making a channel to get views and make it your career, it is really hard, but it just like the biggest thing does just depend on like if it's content that people will want to watch, which is like it's hard to like evaluate and like decide like is my art good enough like for millions of subscribers. And that's definitely a matter of opinion, which that's just why you shouldn't base your skill off of how many subscribers you have, because it's so subjective, it's so relative. So I don't know, just like if you want to do it, just work on it and keep working on it until you get it.
All right, yeah. And also another good tip is to focus on like whatever's popular at the time. Follow the trends.
Oh yeah, for sure. Follow the trends. Yeah.
But only if you actually like them too. Like don't force yourself to make Dream SMP art if you don't like the Dream SMP, because you will just be miserable your entire career.
Exactly. Be happy with it, but follow the trends.
Exactly. All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on the podcast, Kazoo. It was great to have you.
Yeah, no problem. It was really fun.
I'm happy to hear that. All right. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you.
Welcome to the 9th episode of the Create Stuff podcast, also known as part 2 of the special episode that we did on the 8th episode, where I interview 5 animatic creators. But you've already heard that in the intro that I recorded after I'm already done. Today we are welcoming the first guest of this episode, WolfyTheWitch.
I'm holding myself back from saying drugs.
Does it really like count as holding yourself back if you say it anyways?
I'm not saying the names, okay?
No, go
I don't
on.
know how. Like, I don't know how like the YouTube. Okay.
It's okay.
Marijuana. No. I don't know how YouTube the checks work, but like I feel like you'll get demonetized if I start saying drug names.
Wolfie, I want you to look me in the eyes right now and tell me I'm making any money off of this podcast.
I'm looking at your profile picture right now. I'm looking at your TV head, and you could.
I appreciate your faith in me, but it is misplaced.
It's okay. Wait, you're a partner, right? Like partner program?
No.
Well,
my most popular episode has 800 views.
Well, see, this is the problem. You gotta get partnered.
How do you get partnered though? Don't you have to like get an invitation?
You can apply.
Really? Maybe I ought to do that. I probably could.
So I did. My brother was like, my brother was disappointed in me because I wasn't monetizing my videos, and I was like, you can do that?
Oh, dude, you gotta monetize your videos. Come on, man. That's perfect.
I did. And then I was like, but like, I didn't even monetize it for the money. I just wanted the shiny pack.
Nice. Nice.
I have
Okay.
priorities.
Well, welcome to the podcast. This is a good way to start. All right, well, WolfyTheWitch, okay, I guess that's kind of obvious from the fact that you're on this episode, but tell us what you do anyways.
I draw. I won't say I animate, but I do make some animatics. But I mostly like just draw, illustrate stuff like that. For the Dream SMP.
Okay.
Just the way I said it makes it sound like it sounds official. No, this is all fan art. This is all fan content. I am not an official artist.
Right. Man, imagine if the Dream SMP, like, people had official artists, though. That'd be so cool.
Will they pay me? I'm willing.
Oh my gosh, that would be awesome. Official Dream SMP anime coming at one.
At this point, it's probably saddest. That counts as like official anime.
That's kind of true. Okay, so I've noticed on your channel, I noticed that you do kind of a mix of animatics and animation memes. So what's the difference between an animatic and an animation meme?
To be fair, it's not really animation, but it's just going along with the animation meme name. It's basically where you get like a remix part of the song, and it's sort of just like a looping. What do you call it? Like, it's just like a looping motion of like the same thing.
A GIF?
It looks usually, but like it's definitely shorter and not this. Yeah, it's usually just repeated with like funky colors and stuff. I don't know how to explain it.
Okay, I get you though. Usually there's also like a certain piece of music that somebody will take, and like that's like what the meme is, you know? It's always just things matched up to this music.
Yeah, it has like a sort of format to it too.
And like every meme has a different kind of, like, almost a template that people seem to copy off of, almost, if that makes sense.
Yeah, there's gonna be like an original animation meme, and then other people sort of take that format and then they just copy it with different characters or backgrounds or whatever.
And like a lot of people will take their OCs or like apply it to different fandoms. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Since you're the first guest on this episode, I actually should ask, what is an animatic in your words?
If there are any industry animators watching this, I'm so sorry. Okay, so it's like, do you know a storyboard? So like it's like somewhere between a storyboard and an animation. It's sort of like it's way rougher than an animation. It's not as fluid because there's not as much frames included. It's supposed to get like the gist of the motion, but not like the fluidity of it. So it's just sort of meant to convey like how the scene goes and like whatever important elements are in it without having to like in between or like smoothly animate the whole thing.
Okay. I see what you're saying.
I think.
Yeah, that sounds right to me. I think that's what when I asked someone else on the podcast, I don't remember if it was Juice Rat or like if it was someone else. When I asked somebody else what an animatic is, so they said something very, very similar. Especially with storyboards being like the main focus.
Okay, I'm not bullcrapping.
All right, well, I'm honestly like just gonna get to something that I'm just like personally curious about when it comes to your animations. I've already interviewed a lot of animatic creators and animation.
You'll get there.
I'm working on it. A bunch of animators who like obviously I've talked to a lot of animators already, so we focused on a lot of different topics. I want to try and get to what's more unique about your art. So, oh wait, hold on, this is important. What is your creative process when you're making an animatic or an animation or a meme or anything?
My creative process. Okay, there's two ways. One, I find a song I really like, and I go, yo, this would be really cool for an animatic. Or two, I'm sitting somewhere, just chilling, and I go, huh, I want to draw this character, but pretty.
Okay.
Usually the second one ends up being like an animation meme, and the first one ends up being an animatic.
Okay.
That's how.
Speaking of drawing characters but pretty, okay. Maybe this is kind of an obvious thing to point out, but I've noticed that you have like a big focus on fashion and like clothing in your animations and animatics, and especially memes. And like I say this, and you have 2 animation memes that are literally called Fashion and Fashion 1 and Fashion 2. Is that like, am I correct in saying that you have some focus on like fashion and clothes design for the characters you draw?
I design them to an extent where it's like easily identifiable who they are. I honestly have 2 fashion memes just because a lot of people requested for a second one after I did the first one.
Okay.
I don't pay too much attention to fashion because my knowledge of fashion, like, it's limited to sweaters and t-shirts, and I don't know much else except for what I see on Pinterest. So I just sort of think about it to like an extent where, like, you know, it's practical to the characters themselves, but other than that, I don't really put that much attention to it.
Okay. And although you say this, I will say all of like the clothing designs, like the outfits that you have in your fashion animation memes, and like also even like even in like Everybody Loves Me, all looks very, very nice. How did you come up with that then? How did you match everything up there?
It's different for each character, because like for Technos, it's based off his skin, like his Minecraft skin. He had the whole royalty getup, so I based my design on the whole royal aesthetic thing. With Philzas, it's his skin is literally a Bleach character, and I didn't want to copyright Bleach, so I took like the main elements of it, like the striped hat and the green palette, and I just sort of tried to design an outfit that could accommodate his wings. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's like, I watch a lot of animated shows before. Okay, not a lot, but I watched some, and I guess I drew like some inspo from there.
Like what shows?
It's a lot like Studio Ghibli, and there's also a lot of like anime my brother used to watch, and I just joined him.
Okay. So, who's your favorite character in the Dream SMP? I feel like this is kind of there's kind of an obvious answer to this question. However, I wanted to ask anyways.
I'm so glad you asked. Okay. See, I have like not reputation per se, but I am known for being a Philza fan artist.
No way! I never would have guessed.
Yeah, I know, right? It's such a shocking piece of information. But if you go through my YouTube videos, it's like I used my favorite character used to be Wilbur, and then it became Technoblade, and then it became Techno and Philza. And while it's still both of them, turns out I've slowly consciously shifted over to Philza. And
Nice.
all my friends know this. I didn't know this. They roasted me for it. But it's Philza.
No, you made a good decision. And your Philza design is like very, very nice. I'm a big fan.
Thank you. He changed so much. But I'm finally happy with this design, so it's neat.
Yeah, he looks good in like every animation I've seen him in. Love his design.
Yeah.
Also, him in that suit. Oh gosh, I'm not gay, but if I was, well, I'm not gay yet. But if I watch this animation any more times, anyways, this is just what research does to you, man.
Oh.
Okay. So I noticed that you've done a lot of PMVs too.
Oh, PMVs, yeah.
Yeah, because could you explain to me what a PMV is?
What was the name for it? PMV is picture music video, I think. It's basically a fancy slideshow. It's like a PowerPoint presentation, but make it fancy and prettier.
Okay.
Since I like illustration technically more than I do animation, PMV is sort of like it's like a compromise there. So I can sort of tell a story and still be able to like illustrate without having to do too much like movement or animation.
Oh, okay, interesting. So why do you want to focus more on, why are you more interested in illustration than animation?
It's not a very inspiring answer to say I'm just lazy, is it?
I mean, honestly, like, I'd understand, and you would be far from the first person to say it on the podcast.
Yeah, it's like, animation is cool. I like the concept of being able to recreate this entire scene with like movement and stuff. But also, that's like 200 frames, and I don't want to draw that. Also, like, illustration makes sense, so I can start playing around with like colors and lighting and whatnot. And it doesn't convey the same feeling, but like it conveys a feeling.
Okay, I get you. So out of your animatics, or animations, or videos in general, I suppose, which one are you like most proud of? I know that's kind of a hard question to answer.
Most what?
Like most proud of.
Okay. I usually always say this. It's a creature PMV. The creature PMV, I remember really liking that one. My friend showed me the song and was like, Elsa, and I was like, holy fudge. And then I sort of spent a while thumbnailing. Like that's the most I've ever prepared for one video. Yeah, because I usually just sort of like improvise whatever I draw. But for that one, I was like thumbnailing each frame. I had like not an outline, but like a sort of general flow of the whole video. I drew like 50 something illustrations in like 1 week. Disclaimer, that's not healthy, I think, unless you do that for fun. Don't draw 50 something illustrations in 1 week. My hand suffered, but I was happy.
I think you and Ambler Rose would have something to talk about there. Okay, but that's cool.
It's really funny because like it's a Christian song, like Christian rock specifically, and like I didn't tell anyone until like a bit after, and they all were like betrayed. I made them listen to Christian rock.
I actually do remember listening to it and thinking that it sounded kind of like it kind of had that feeling to it. I was like, is this? No, not in a Dream SMP like animatic or animation. Certainly not.
It had the line with Jesus Christ in it, but like the word. That's the thing about Half Alive in general is their lyricism is so pretty. Like
yeah, they're really good.
Yeah.
Wait, okay, two questions just popped into my head. I feel like, okay, I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of all over the place with this interview. Like, I have not picked one topic and stuck to it, but that's okay. That's okay.
It's okay.
The topic is you, and that's good enough. So like, while watching this PMV, watching Creature, excuse me, I noticed that like you do a lot of really cool stuff with color design. So like, do you have like anything in mind when you're specifically putting like scenes together with certain colors?
Well, for Creature, I wanted like the different biomes to be apparent. Because like the first one happens in the end, right? The second in the nether, and the third in the overworld. So I wanted like the main colors to then be purple, red, and green. But like the whole thing throughout, I just wanted like a sort of, what's it called? Whimsical? No. Magical vibe? Like it starts to feel like if you watch it, it starts to feel like you're in another place.
I think whimsical is honestly a pretty good way to describe it.
yeah, it's sort of like vibrant and like you know, if you see it, you won't immediately like look away. That's like the vibe I wanted.
Okay, okay. Yeah, I think you did that pretty well. I love the backgrounds in this. They are so pretty. Like I saw someone in the comments say you could take any scene from this entire PMV and it would make an incredible desktop wallpaper.
I really like drawing backgrounds. They're really fun.
What do you like about backgrounds?
Not sure. It's like you're able to convey like a sense of space. Like I do this a lot with my drawings, with my environmental art, where I draw something really big and then I put like a tiny human there, and like I swear it's not just because I wanted to tag its fan art. It's because like if you put a tiny human there, it helps convey like the sense of like how massive a place is compared to this one small figure. It's like just that ability to like create something like really massive and feel big. That's really fun.
Yeah, no, I totally get what you're going for. There's a whole sense of like just something great, like bigger than you to explore in backgrounds like that. And I think you really nailed that feeling in Creature a lot. Like the world that you set up, like the way that you paint the nice. The way that you paint Phil's Minecraft world in this is just so it makes me want to go and watch his entire hardcore series just to see like the builds you've put in here.
So his builds, that's the thing, right? This whole PMV is sort of like it's like it's dedicated to his world because it's so pretty, especially with shaders. Like when he turns on the shaders, it's like a whole other thing. It's so great.
Yeah, maybe I ought to go watch it, honestly. So now I kind of want to ask, how would you describe your own, like, your style of art and animation and how it differs from other people's?
Oh boy, this question. Like art style wise, I've been told it's semi-realistic, but I kind of I don't jump per se, but I do sort of like the waver on that line. Sometimes I'll draw more simplified, stylized drawings, and other times will be more realistic. It kind of just depends on like the mood of the drawing, which will suit it better.
Okay.
I forgot.
No. I totally get what you're saying.
Part of the question was like how it differs from others, right?
Yeah.
How does it differ from others? It doesn't much differ as like it just has I've been told it has like a feeling to it. But also I guess in like this fandom specifically, it focuses more on character art than it does like environmental art. There's a lot of those, but not as much. So that helps mine like garner attention because people like seeing pretty buildings, I guess.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. There's a lot more like, yeah, the Dream SMP is a lot more character focused and environment focused when compared to a lot of other stuff, especially I actually never thought about that, but you're right.
It's really good. The Dream SMP is really good with character design.
Highly agreed.
Yeah. It's like, all right, I've seen someone say this about the Dream SMP. If you want to improve really quickly, just join the Dream SMP fandom, because with like the large cast of characters as well as like the variety in designs, in skin designs, but also like how like sort of simplified it is, you're going to have to be able to like take that Minecraft skin and then make like a whole character design out of it. It's like really good for practice.
Interesting. Yeah, I guess I could see how that would work. Oh, one thing I did want to ask about. I noticed that you're really, it seems to me like you're really building a brand for yourself, especially through your YouTube channel. And like you even have merch going out, which by the way is very nice looking. I might get some for myself.
Yo, thank you.
I want to ask, like, what is your plan for the future of your YouTube channel? Like, are you going to stick to Dream SMP stuff? Are you going to stick to being like art and animation focused? What's the plan for you in the future?
It'll definitely be art focused. I'm not sure if it's Dream SMP because it's just whatever I'm interested at the moment. Like if you scroll down my videos, I started out the channel with the Penumbra podcast, which is a podcast I was very interested in and drew animatics for. Then I got into the Dream SMP. So it's just mainly whatever has my interest, I guess. The whole branding thing was kind of an accident. I didn't really intend to like make a brand. My whole thing was like my lack of brand actually.
Really?
Like in every social media platform I had a different name. It was a thing. People make fun of me for it. A lot of people call me like nameless because of that.
The nameless one.
Like my own channel. No, not my own channel, my current channel. It used to be called The Channel Without a Name, which was a reference to Penumbra. My Twitter was WolfyTheWitch. My Tumblr was something I'm not gonna say because if I say it out loud, it sounds cringe. But I changed it after a while. But like my whole thing was just my differing names and how no one could keep track of it.
Wait. What was your Tumblr?
I'm not saying it.
Tell us, come on. What was your Tumblr? What was your Tumblr, Wolfie?
If I told you, I'd have to kill you.
Okay, here, look. I'll mute us both on the podcast, and you can just tell me, and I'll actually bleep it out. I'll bleep it out. All right, go.
It's like.
Oh, okay. Wait, do you actually want me to beep that out?
Yes, bleep it out.
That's perfect. I love that. Oh wow, chat! You won't believe what chat. Viewers, you won't believe what they just told me. Oh my gosh, it's insane. It's not that weird.
I mean, my old followers probably know. So like, they also make fun of me for that. My relationship with my followers is very parasocial. It's very nice. Okay, but yeah, the branding was like an accident. I'm actually really surprised how I got this far without knowing anything about the algorithm.
I mean, that's what the Dream SMP does to people.
Yeah, that's a whole thing about Dream SMP. Like it sort of like jump started this snowball thing.
Yeah, it's a really cool fandom in that aspect.
Yeah, it's really good for it helps kickstart like a lot of artists in their what do you call that? I don't want to say clout. Blowing up?
Yeah. The Dream SMP helps, like, Dream SMP has helped a lot of people. I think it's just really cool that there's something that's this big that so many people can, like, use to actually get their art out there and get themselves noticed while still having, like, a medium, like, something to base that their art comes from that they can, like, adapt so much to their own style.
Yeah, and since the creators are also branching out with like variety things like vlogs and whatnot, it's also like it's not one sort of like driven thing. You're allowed to like branch out. You're allowed to just draw the CCs if you want. Or and you know, with Wilbur's band, with Lovejoy, a lot of people have been creating fan art for the band itself, which is also a cool thing.
Yeah, like you could be a huge fan of Lovejoy, like an artist who's a huge fan of Lovejoy, and like the Dream SMP fandom would like help you get off the ground, even like if you don't know what the Dream SMP is, just because Wilbur Soot's in it.
A lot of times, a lot of people draw like characters like just for like the exposure of it, which isn't a bad thing. It's like a good time. And like all the fans are just like, you know, happy that there's fan art of this character. It's like a win-win.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I've also seen people like who started Dream SMP stuff and have branched out and like are still doing fine even without it, which is nice.
Yeah, great. I just find it really funny that like I'm sitting here in like a bunk bed.
Wait, bunk bed cast reference? Let's go.
Hey.
Hell yeah. No, that's completely fine. I'm happy that you are in a comfortable place.
Also, I'd like you to know that, like, from afar, your profile picture looks like Barney.
It looks like Barney?
Yeah, the dinosaur.
Let me scoot to the back of my room real quick, please.
It's a completely random thought, but like.
Okay, wait, hold on. Hold on. Oh. Shoot, you're right! The colors are the same! Oh my gosh. That's so cursed.
I've been thinking about it this entire time. Like, every time I go quiet, it's because I go, huh, looks like Barney.
So I would say you've kind of already done this, but are you planning to make like a career for yourself out of your YouTube channel and out of your art in general, using YouTube as a platform and like Twitch and Twitter and all this?
It's like this whole thing started as like a hobby. It kind of still is. Like it'd be really cool if I could, make it into a career. It's just with how unstable the internet is, I'd probably sort of like find the proper, not proper. It still counts as a job. I'd still find like a job somewhere and then maybe keep it as like a side thing, in case either falls through.
Mm-hmm. It's always very important to have a backup plan.
Yeah, but like if it was possible, I'd probably do.
Okay, cool. Then I just have one last question for you, Wolfie. This is something I ask of every guest I have on. Do you have any advice for any creators who are listening, whether they be specifically animators and or artists, or like just anybody who creates stuff in general? Haha, title drop.
Okay, how do I say this without it sounding bad? Cloud chase. Okay, not cloud. Okay. It was completely by accident. But the reason the Dream SMP, right? The thing about popular fandoms or whatever is if it's big, you will garner attention, whatever it is. So if you have the opportunity to, and if you're interested in it, like if it's something that make you happy, like you don't draw something just because it gets you likes on Twitter. That's not going to lead to a very happy art journey. Like unless you absolutely need to, like it's a essential thing for like finances or whatever, just draw what makes you happy, right? But also like if you see an opportunity, like another artist wanting to collab or like a Zion or a Bang or whatever, if there's an opportunity to do something, whether it's big or small, if it catches your eye and you have like the energy to do it, then like just do it. Try new things, network with people, because having good art or content or whatever it's important because that's like the whole basis of your platform. But it's also good to like reach out to other people and make connections. You don't really have to study the algorithm. You can if you want. Just know the basic times to post. Honestly, like as artists, it's really good to have like artist mutuals or content creator friends, whatever it is, because there's a sense of like camaraderie there, but also just connections in general is really important for growing your platform.
Yeah, I could not agree more.
Yeah, also like when we go to like the cheesy part, bitches, believe in yourself. Just don't stop creating content, even if it flops. Even if like no one sees it, as long as you enjoy it, just keep doing it. And like, someday you're gonna have to catch your big break. It's not gonna be like a flop forever.
Gotta keep trying, or you're never gonna get your chance.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's some great advice, and one thing I very highly agree with, especially since I run a podcast that like literally is pretty much. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. This podcast is kind of like the best thing in the world for making connections ever, because it literally requires me to meet people who are far bigger than I. But yeah.
So that's a good idea.
Yeah, like I don't think I should give any specifics yet, but I will say having connections like in this sphere, in content creation in general, is just so vital and so helpful. Like well, I'm not gonna go into specifics. Maybe I'll talk more about that another time, but I shouldn't say anything yet. Yeah. Also, I will say, I think it's also a good idea to try to not just like connect with other artists. I don't usually give my own advice on this, but you kind of like made me want to say something. Don't just like connect with this people who do the same exact thing you do. Connect with people outside your sphere too, because you never know where opportunities are going to come up. But
Oh yeah, definitely.
yeah.
Like I have friends who are like artists, writers, photographers, streamers.
Connections are everything, people. And don't be afraid to use them either. Just like don't be an ass about it.
Yeah, just like connections are great. Don't spam someone's inbox asking. There's a difference. Like, don't be a prick.
Yeah, don't be a prick. There you go.
I like a bunch of people messaging my friends to DM me. I'm like, guys, if you do that, I'm just not gonna answer you. That's just rude to both me and my friend.
Right.
You're free to reach out to people, but don't spam their DMs. Ask just because you want exposure. No one wants to befriend someone like that.
Oh yeah, definitely not. Definitely not. Your intention is very, very important when you're contacting someone. Like most creators, something I've especially learned through this podcast, most creators, like if they think you're doing something cool and like you're asking them to be a part of it in like a cool way, they're going to say yes, like, and they're probably they'll say yes if they think it's cool and they want to be a part of it. They don't care like how many subscribers you have or anything like that usually. Like obviously I didn't ask WolfyTheWitch to be on my podcast here and tell them, hey, if you come on my podcast, you are going to get so many fans. You know? But yeah, that's also another thing like that. I didn't expect that first, honestly, but yeah.
It just sounded. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I appreciate that immensely. It has been a pleasure to interview you, and that ending advice section went all around the block as far as advice on connections and networking in this space, but that's okay. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast, WolfyTheWitch. I think that's where we'll end for today. Do you have any last words for our audience?
My brain is just completely blank right now. Just do what you enjoy, honestly. Doesn't matter too much at the end of the day. If you enjoy doing it, then you're gonna have fun doing it regardless of like attention. Like, it's good. Internet validation. But like what matters more is like if you enjoy doing that specific thing, then you're gonna have fun. It's really. But yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. Hell yeah. Thank you guys all so much for watching. This is the first part. Why am I thanking you already? Enjoy the next guest. That's a transition. Bye, everybody. Hey, thanks so much for watching I don't even know what episode this is anymore, honestly. 10? 11? I honestly don't even know at the time of recording this conclusion. I'm still in the nice podcast room, so that's why my audio quality is still nice. Hopefully I'll be recording a lot of podcasts in here in the future, but that won't be the case for everyone because this is only open on weekdays from 9 to 5, and a lot of the people who I interview have work on weekdays from 9 to 5, or school on weekdays from around that time, But I'll use it as much as I can. Anyways, thanks so much for listening to the episode. This is usually streamed live on twitch.tv/ShaunSaxum, though these interviews were not. But you can check out twitch.tv/ShaunSaxum, link is in the description. I highly recommend you follow me there, because I will be doing a lot of extra stuff with a lot of the people in this episode, including playing Gartic Phone with them, as I already have played Gartic Phone with some of them, actually. So follow me there if you want to see that live, and maybe even see an edited version on the YouTube channel. We'll see. That's why you should subscribe, and like, and comment, because it really helps with the algorithm. Seriously, even if you have nothing to say in the comments, do it anyways, because it really, really helps me. More than I can describe. And also, I'm thinking I'm gonna actually start reading comments out, just more questions. If you ask a question in the comments, I will read it out at the end. I'm considering doing that. So if you have a question for me, then just leave it in the comments and I will answer it at the conclusion next time. But yeah, or if you just have something you want me to read, just put read this in your comment or something, and I will read it. But yeah. If you'd like to support the Create Stuff podcast more than you already are just by hitting the like button, subscribing, and commenting, you can also check me out on Patreon. Just $1 a month seriously helps me so much. Yeah, so I'm going to give a quick shout out to all my patrons and my subscribers on Twitch as well, because they are very, very cool. For Patreon, thank you so much to my one patron, Sam. I appreciate you so much. Your support is always so greatly appreciated. And thank you also so much to all of my subscribers on Twitch. Some of these people were gifted subs rather than like bought them themselves, which is still really cool. And I'm still gonna thank you in anyways. So if you hear your name here and you don't remember subscribing to me, that's because you were gifted a sub. So thank you so much. It's What's Up MKJ, Flaming Raven, Issa Michelle, Bella Basura, Janie, also Nate, thank you, Sam, once again, and yeah. Thank you guys all so much. I appreciate your support a lot. It's what keeps this thing running, and I do need money to actually keep my, I have like, for the podcast, to upload it on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, I have to buy an RSS feed, which costs me $13 a month. It's not a lot, but thanks to you guys' support, that pays for itself, and I seriously appreciate that a ton. So yeah, and one last thing, I'll go ahead and shout out 3 things that some of my friends are doing that I think are cool. The first thing I want to shout out real quick is my friend Professor Viol, the 4th person I interviewed on the podcast. Go check out that episode. Recently uploaded his video, How Psychopaths Teaches Us About Law. A really, really cool video essay on, well, psychopaths and how it teaches us about law. And it is really, really well made, really well edited, and just so, like, it's just such a good video. You guys should really go check it out. Link is in the description. The second thing, my good friend, What's Up MKJ, just recently released his song, From 10, and it is really, really cool. Link is also in the description. It seriously deserves some more love. It is a Reviver focused song, and like MKJ is just so talented. Really, they so deserve your support. And the last one, I've mentioned them before, but my friend Trashy Inferno recently released their song Hymn to Lamanberg, which features a bunch of my friends from Lamanberg the Musical, and it is so good. I highly recommend you check it out. Link is in the description. Thank you guys all so much for coming to the podcast. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you on the next episode. Bye-bye.